My friends, I have a confession. I'm almost 28 years old and I have never finished a sketchbook. So I'm making this video as a pledge to myself that I'm going to finish a sketchbook. And the sketchbook I have chosen is this sketchbook. This is not a new sketchbook. I have had this one for some time and I have done some work in it. The problem is, you see, this isn't the only sketchbook that I have. This is a sketchbook that I started for Inktober 2019. Here is my title page. Here are two drawings that I didn't quite finish. Here is one that I definitely didn't finish. That is it. That is all I did. And that took me about a week. I put more effort into the title page than anything else, and then I closed it and put it away. I also have this sketchbook. This sketchbook is blank, but you can see I definitely did something in here because there's a load of stuff stuck on the inside cover. This sketchbook is not blank. I used it to draw some stencils for my business. The rest of the sketchbook is blank. I bought this sketchbook when I was 16. I've had this for 12 years. Here is a moleskin notebook that I bought in TK Maxx because I liked the colour and it was cheap. Empty. Here is a moleskin watercolour sketchbook. Empty. Here is a tiny moleskin sketchbook. Empty. Here is a notebook with a cork cover that I thought would make a nice sketchbook. Empty. Here is a sketchbook I made myself out of recycled paper because then I thought maybe I would use it. Empty. Sketchbook with black pages. Empty. Sketchbook with white pages. Empty. Stack of 10 sketchbook I bought from Hobbycraft. Still has the belly band around it. Empty. And this one is probably the most sad. This is a really nice sketchbook that I got from TK Maxx. Really, really nice, heavyweight, slightly textured, creamy paper. But guess what? It's empty. Because I'm scared of them. That's my problem. I'm terrified of them. I'm terrified of going wrong. I'm terrified of failing. And then I just don't start. So you know what? We're not doing that anymore. You and me together, we are going to do this sketchbook. We're going to fill every page in this sketchbook. So what is in this sketchbook already? So I did start out quite well in this sketchbook. I did a bunch of colour swatches of these metallic watercolours. That's hard to show you. This page, I tried out more watercolours and I did all kinds of watercolour techniques. It's quite nice. I quite like it. I remember having a lot of fun doing this. Next page is blank. Did have some stuff in it. Decided I didn't like it. Ripped it out. This is some work that I did recently. I had a drawing under here that I didn't like, so I painted over it. And then I made the blobs into cactuses. See what? Oh, they're shiny. And then on the other page I drew some more cactuses and evidently got bored before I filled the page, so stopped. This page has got some drawings of crystals on. I remember making loads of pages in this sketchbook with pictures of crystals that I'd printed out of the internet, which is what all this stuff is. So I ripped it all out. I set up the sketchbook in a way that I thought I'd like to use it and didn't like it, so took it all apart again. Here is another page with a picture of a crystal that I was going to practice watercolouring. Clearly did not. This page also has some crystals on. Apparently I was in a crystal mood at this point. And this page also has some crystals on. And this page also has crystals on. Wow, Jesus. And that's it. The rest of the book is blank. So what are we going to do? We're going to fill this. And we're not going to put any pressure on ourselves to do any good work in it. We're not going to beat ourselves up if we mess up a page. We're just going to paint over it and carry on. We're not going to post every page as an Instagram photo. We're just gonna have some fun in this sketchbook and just do what we feel like doing, and we're gonna fill it. And I'm gonna share this with you because this is terrifying to me. All of these white blank pages are terrifying. But it's 2020 and the entire year has been terrifying, so this isn't scary at all, is it? So I'm going to try and make it as easy for myself as possible. So I've come up with this idea to make myself a jar of prompts, different words that I can just pull out and give it a go. So if I can't decide on what idea to do or I'm struggling to think of an idea, I can just pull something out of the prompt jar. So I've got this old jam jar that I've just fished out of the cupboard because I make my boyfriend save all of the jars. And he secretly throws them away when he thinks I'm not looking, but I rescued this one. And I have got, my printer decided to have a fit and print this on loads of bits of paper, so I'll use this. All I'm going to do is chop them into strips and then write random words on them and put them in the jar. So I'm going to magically fast forward this bit. So while I'm writing these, I'm going to try not to think about it too much, but words are something that really inspires me, especially my day job as a copywriter, and I'm a big fan of how words inspire us and how different words have different meanings, the way they sound in your mouth when you pronounce them, all that kind of stuff really inspires me. So I knew that writing lots of different words down that I could just pull out of a jar would definitely start my creative process going. I'm also someone who really struggles to picture images in their head. Quite often if I am presented with a word, then my brain will immediately start creating all these images, whereas if I try and think of how something looks, I find it really difficult to picture images in my brain. I find it really hard, for example, to remember what people's faces look like. Even people that I know really, really well, I can't imagine them clearly in my brain. So this is why whenever I draw, I feel like I always have to have a reference beside me, and this might be one of the reasons that I really struggled to feel like I was good at art and good at drawing, because I really struggle to do anything without a reference. And you see all these amazing artists creating painting and they never ever seem to be using reference. And it was never said to me when I was at school, like, you need to, you know, it's okay to use a reference. I felt like I was cheating, when in actuality that's not true. Just because you use a reference doesn't mean your art is worth any less than somebody who didn't use a reference. All artists use tools to help their work improve, and reference is just one of those very many tools, just like using a paintbrush or a pencil. You should feel that you can use reference in a way that supports and helps your art. And there's a difference between using reference and directly tracing somebody else's work, for example. Obviously you shouldn't directly trace somebody else's work, and you should try to avoid tracing where possible. That does make your brain lazy. If you look at an image and draw something next to it and create the shapes yourself, you're really forcing your brain to look at the different shapes and make them into something. But anyway, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here. So I tried to think of all different types of words, mediums that I could use, objects, feelings, descriptive words, verbs, actions, all kinds of different things, so there would be a good mix in the jar. I thought sometimes I might want to take 2 or 3 slips of paper out of the jar to create something entirely new. Sometimes these words wouldn't be on their own, they might be combined with others. If you were making your own prompt jar, what words would you put in it first? Pop some in the comments and let's share some ideas. Perfect. During this project, I'm not expecting to use this jar every time, but it's there for when I don't have an idea. I just have something I can go and pull from, which I think will be really helpful. Of course, I can add more prompts or take them away at any time. If I think I want to do a prompt again, I'll probably put it back in the jar. If I think I've explored that prompt as much as I can, then I'll just get rid of it and maybe add some new ones as I think of them. Now I'm going to immortalise finishing this sketchbook by writing that in it. not meant to be. So I've written the date, so I know when I started it. That's today's date. Obviously it's not today's date for you because I've filmed this before and I'm uploading it later, but I mean, this page is telling me I have to finish it. Who am I to not do it? Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, even though it was kind of all over the place. If you want to see more of my sketchbook adventures and follow along while I attempt to fill a sketchbook for the first time ever, then please do subscribe to my channel. I really want to make these videos a regular thing because then I have to force myself to actually finish it. So I hope you find this video helpful in some way. I watch a lot of sketchbook videos on YouTube, and I do find them really helpful, and I learn a lot from other artists. So I hope this was helpful to you in some way. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and I'll see you later. Bye.